Good morning, everybody. It is with deep sadness I'm here to announce the news of the passing of Virginia, the tip of the spear on the Epstein case. She persevered against so many horrific obstacles that were put in her way, obstacles that continued right up until her death. For example, Lady Victoria Harvey trolling Virginia last month when Virginia was expressing fears for her life. Absolutely disgusting. All the people that just did not give this woman support. And sadly, she is no longer with us. Yeah, really, really terrible news. Woke up to this today and just people are outraged all over the world. There's all kinds of theories circulating about her death, and we're going to look closer at it in a minute. But you guys let me know in the chat what you think of this, about what the news that's come in so far. So we've got the Daily Mail, of course, has done quite a big story, and as have lots of other publications. And in the Mail, it says Jeffrey Epstein victim, Virginia, dies by unaliving herself after troubling Instagram posts. Yeah. If you remember, recently, well, it was just over a month ago now, she said she had days to live after the car crash, and there was mixed reports about the car crash as to whether, you know, the bus driver was saying he reported it, but no one was injured, etc. And she was saying she got hit at the bus, which was going quite fast. And just all these evil people started trolling her. Where was the love and support? Well, there was a love and support as well, because the dark forces are the minority. All right, so I'll continue this article. Virginia, who was transported by Jeffrey as a teen, has died by unaliving herself in Western Australia after making a series of Instagram posts. And I've got her Instagram in front of me. We will take a look at that shortly. So Virginia was one of the most prominent accusers. I would say she was the most prominent accuser, especially of Prince Andrew, etc. Of convicted offenders, Jeffrey and his former girlfriend, Ghislaine, who she said kept her as a slave while flying her around the world and offering her to their powerful associates, and this is her quote now, like a platter of fruit. Yeah. She alleged they transported her to Prince Andrew when she was 17 and was 3 times SA'd by him, a claim which Prince Andrew has, of course, denied, but there was a humongous out-of-court settlement reached just 3 years ago. Just looking at the chat right now, Victoria's saying this just smacks of skullduggery. Yeah, certainly does. She alleged, remember that it happened at the house, in one of the locations was the house in London where I went and doorstepped the promises, and we got the cleaner to open the door and we filmed the banister. And I have reached out to Matthew Steeples. He's done quite a bit on that property. So far this morning, I've reached out to Steeples, Lionel, Beverly. I'm talking to Ryan Dawson on X. But just as all this has been going down with Virginia, I would say that Ryan Dawson, who's also at the tip of the spear on researching Jeffrey, he's probably got 2 decades in it now. He's going blind. He's lost the sight in one eye, and he's going blind in the other eye. And he's announced that he's not doing any more interviews. So unless Ryan has, I know he's having some medical treatment, unless it bounces back, I don't think that he's going to be coming back on anytime soon, which is another weird thing as well. And I'm getting huge amounts of reports in the live stream chat that we're being tampered with right now, and that people are just getting completely booted off the live stream. So weird. This has been happening now for a couple of days. So we're talking about the death of Virginia Giuffre. And if you do get booted off the live stream, just click on the channel icon. It will be lit and it should take you right back to the live stream. But yeah, there's always people trying to shut this kind of information down. So try and stay with it, folks. All right, so I'll continue the news story. Virginia is understood to have died at her farm in Western Australia just weeks after being involved in a car crash, which saw her say she had just days to live. She was involved in a domestic dispute with her husband, who is the father of her 3 children. And she'd been estranged. It's all a very bizarre situation. And this news today is going to lead to even more dramatic theories as to what exactly has been happening in the last couple of months. So, her family said in a statement, "It is with utterly broken hearts that we announce that Virginia passed away last night at her farm in Western Australia. She lost her life to," and I'm going to add, unaliving herself rather than use the S word, "after being a lifelong victim of SA and S transportation. Virginia was a fierce warrior in the fight against SA and S transportation. She was the light that lifted so many survivors. Despite all the adversity she faced in her life, she shone so bright. She will be missed beyond measure." Yeah, I'm still getting loads of people in the chat saying that the stream's getting tampered with and they're getting removed from it. Can't believe how these dark forces can still penetrate us in all kinds of strange ways. Always happens to this channel, doesn't it, when things like this go down? And I'm dressed all in black in respect with Virginia, out of respect. And oh yeah, I've just got a text message from Lionel. So Lionel has a radio show that he does in the middle of the night. He's a proper vampire. And he has said, "The case stinks to high heaven, as you can imagine. Let me know if I may be of service to you, sir." Yeah, that means he's going to come on at some point. Hey, Lionel, I'm live right now. And our streams, strange things are happening to our stream. People are getting bumped off it left and right. Anyway, you let me know what time you would like to come on, my friend, and we will coordinate that. If you could type it into the chat, that would be great. All right, so Virginia was a fierce warrior. Despite all of the adversity she faced in her life, she shone so bright. She will be missed beyond measure. And then her family added that the light of her life were her children. It was when, and she's got 3 kids, it was when she held her newborn daughter in her arms that Virginia realized she had to fight back against those who had SA'd her and so many others, they said. She was only 41 years old. How sad is that? And our kids must be getting ripped apart right now emotionally, hearing this news. My heart goes out to them. Virginia grew to prominence after she went public with allegations against Jeffrey and called for charges to be brought against him. "There are no words that can express the grave loss we feel today with the passing of our sweet Virginia," the family statement continued. Oh, thanks, Kay, for the super chat. R.I.P. sister, indeed. "She was heroic and will always be remembered for her incredible courage and loving spirit. In the end, the toll of abuse is so heavy that it became unbearable for Virginia to handle its weight. We know that she is with the angels. And in honor of Virginia, let me get... Oh, the picture's already up there. That's right. Okay. All right. So Lionel has just said 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you, Lionel. We look forward to you coming on at noon our time, which is in 2 hours, I believe. All right. So we've got Lionel coming on. Reached out to Steeples. I've reached out to Beverly. I've messaged Ryan Dawson on X. Let me see if he wants to write. If he sends me a comment, I'll read it to you guys because he's going blind, which seems a bit suspicious that the lead researcher, Ryan's been researching it for decades, is going blind and prevented from doing interviews. He's got some kind of rapid macular degeneration. And we've got Virginia unalived. It's all bizarre, isn't it? At a time when there's pressure on the US government to release La Lista. So, yeah. All right, let me keep going with the news story. Yep, serious, folks. Some people are incredulous about the Ryan Dawson news. Yep, serious. He is out the blue, no explanation. He's already lost a sight in one eye and losing the sight in the other. Announced that he's probably going to be unable to do any more interviews unless he has some medical miracle. All right, so in the end, the toll of SA is so heavy that it became unbearable for Virginia to handle its weight. We know she is with the angels, and she's understood to have died at a farm in Western Australia. Police confirmed emergency services received reports of an unresponsive woman at a property in the Perth suburb of Neergaby on Friday night. Police and St. John Western Australia attended and provided emergency first aid. Sadly, the 41-year-old woman was declared deceased at the scene. A police spokeswoman said, now let me go back 2 lines. Police confirmed emergency services received reports of an unresponsive woman. So I wonder who called in those reports. I imagine whoever found her. Okay, so as usual, the police always say things like this are not suspicious. Here they go. The death is being investigated by major crimes detectives. Early indication is the death is not suspicious. On Saturday, Virginia's brother, Danny, paid tribute to his sister on Facebook with a sweet photo of the pair and another man. We'll look at that shortly. Virginia is seen smiling at the camera with her arm around her brother in the picture. Of course, she is incredibly famous for her campaigning against Jeffrey and Maxwell. And she alleged that things happened with Prince Andrew at the behest of Maxwell when she was just 17. Prince Andrew was forced to pay out a settlement which was reportedly worth around £12 million, which is about $15 million in the present exchange rate, I believe. After Virginia alleged that Jeffrey transported her across the world to have SA with the prince, but Prince Andrew, of course, denied ever getting with her. And a woman who did have a fling with Prince Andrew, Lady Victoria Hervey, was disgustingly trolling Virginia after the accident on Virginia's Instagram. And I wonder how Lady Victoria Hervey feels this morning. trolling someone who was mentally fragile, who'd been SA'd, saying this person, I'll read it when I get to it. We're going to look at Virginia's Instagram. Saying that Virginia was fake and it was her karma. So all the people who trolled Virginia last month, you guys should at the very least be taking a long, hard look in the mirror and reflecting on your own karma, because that's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So Virginia alleged that Prince Andrew SA'd her 3 times in London during a 2001 trip, at Jeffrey's New York mansion when she was 17, and in the Virgin Islands when she was 18. And as we covered back then, 4 or 5 years ago, when it all got deleted, the Virgin Islands allegation included, how do I phrase this, a R-word party, basically, in jacuzzis, etc., with the girls brought in through the Jean-Luc Brunel pipeline. Jean-Luc Brunel also no longer with us. Jean-Luc Brunel, if you're not familiar, was the 2nd largest procurer for Jeffrey after Ghislaine. And he didn't last long in a French prison. He went out exactly the same way Jeffrey went out. And it was ruled that he'd unalived himself. So yeah, all of the principals in this case, activists and perpetrators, all unalived. We've got Ghislaine still going. And I wonder what Ghislaine's feeling about this right now. Because when you indoctrinate a teenage girl into this world of horrors through manipulation, and they're traumatized for life, you've completely changed their life trajectory. You've got to take responsibility for the dark things that can happen on that path. Ghislaine Maxwell. We always have to add, for legal reasons, that Prince Andrew has denied the allegations and said he can't ever recall meeting her. The photograph of them was presented as evidence with his arm around her midriff, which was included in Virginia's lawsuit against him. And I think in the crazy BBC interview, didn't he cast doubt upon the authenticity of the photo? So I've got a super chat. Christopher, date of her last confirmed public appearance, Saturday in Australia. There's apparently a photo of her. I don't know what time it is in Australia right now. If anyone's in Australia, put the time in the chat, please. We've got well over 1,000 watching now. So if you are suspicious about the unaliving of Virginia, put a 1 in the chat. If you think that the cop's statement, nothing suspicious here, rings true, put a 2 in the chat. See lots of 1s coming in. And if you just tuned in, we've reached out to all of our friends in this community. Matthew Steeples, Lionel is coming on in just under 2 hours. Beverly, Ryan Dawson. I've reached out to Whitney Webb, but I've not heard back from her. Last few times I've reached out to her. If any of you guys follow Whitney or close to Whitney, let her know. We'd like to get her on. Also, I need to reach out to Kirby Sommers. I will get on that. I know, I woke up today. People are saying they couldn't believe it. They thought it was fake news. My phone has never blown up like it's blown up today. We are getting hammered with messages on all platforms. And thank goodness Baby Z didn't keep me awake all night. And I'm here to do this today. So Prince Andrew's settlement in 2022, it's gone 7 p.m. Okay, thank you in Australia. The settlement in 2022 did not involve any admission of liability on his behalf, and Prince Andrew denies having any carnal contact with her. But it did lead to Prince Andrew stepping back from royal life after the disastrous interview with Emily Maitlis on the BBC, in which he made a series of crazy claims. He was dining at Pizza Express in Woking. I also went and filmed at Pizza Express in Woking, and they wouldn't speak to me about Andrew. All right, so we've got Beverly Rhodes joining us now, who is a survivor of Savile, a survivor of a terrorist attack in London, and she works with survivors. And as a remote viewer, she's very attuned to the frequency of the things that have happened here. And she also has a unique perspective on what's called a kill switch, how people can be MK Ultra'd. This is me just paraphrasing now. Beverly's the expert on this. If you've gone through MK Ultra, they can instill in the human brain commands that can be triggered. Look at Saran. Can't even remember shooting at Robert Kennedy. And things can happen to you later in life when these kill switches are activated. So we're going to look at the theory of the kill switch with Bev, and she's going to give her opinion on what's happened here. Also, Beverly has her own YouTube channel now, and I will get Beverly's YouTube channel link in the description, because she's going to be doing psychic shows from over there. But let's bring Beverly in. Here we go. Hey, Beverly, thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, Shaun. How are you this morning?
Honestly, Beverly,
to wake up to this, isn't it? Yeah, gosh.
This is really hitting me in the guts. I've woke up today. We have collaborated with Virginia over the years. Things that she's told me. I put in videos that were banned from YouTube. My book, Who Killed Epstein, we've got a whole chapter on her in there with information she gave us. We worked with Maria Farmer, other survivors. And, Virginia was in the whole survivor community with Epstein. Virginia was the one at the front carrying the torch. You may have seen in the documentaries, where they're all the survivors are going to court and they're saying, finally, we've been acknowledged. And you can just see the look in their faces, the satisfaction of finally being believed and getting the case this far. And all of them I've interviewed about half a dozen of them, Epstein survivors, all say, they were just so inspired by Virginia. And she gave them the fortitude, the inner strength to come out and to speak against these monsters. Yeah.
It is. It's very sad. It's a very sad day for her. But I must admit, when I heard that she was had gone into hiding and that she had decided to speak out a bit further, I was wondering all through this period, how long would it take before the kill switch is activated? And we all of us that have been involved in SRA and these types of issues, there is a kill switch that is placed on us from almost the very first or second sessions and rituals. So this sort of thing would have been within her. I'm not sure whether she would have known it, but I think at some point the captors and those that the controllers and your handlers, particularly your handlers actually, they do eventually make it very clear that you belong to them and that you belong to them for life. And that is, that is very much part of the issue, is that we can get rid of the trauma. We can start dealing with the trauma. We can allow our souls to feel a little more freer. But one of the issues is to be able to deal with the kill switch. And this is where some of the problems start coming in. You've just got to make sure that you have everything in place. And this is something you do throughout most of your life, is you make sure that things are in place, that if that was ever to be triggered or activated, that everything is in order. And this is how you live your life. You make absolutely sure that your family's protected, that those that you end up really loving and being in your life, that they're protected, that the only person that ends up on the other side is you and nobody else. You make sure that they don't get hurt in the process, because they have different types of kill switches. The most common one is the suicide, obviously.
Let's say call it the unaliving one.
Unalive okay.
Yeah. And also, Beverly, do you think because of the pressure on the Trump administration to release certain names and lists, the timing of this, it ties into a theory of pressure being put upon her to do something like this, let's say, unaliving?
Yeah, I believe that the timing is critical, absolutely critical. I think that the powers that be are going to release some rather damning sets of information, and whoever it was that was able to get to her